The dangers of combustible cladding on buildings were brought to the public's attention following the Grenfell Tower tragedy. 72 people died after the material on the London high-rise caught fire and spread rapidly. Now the Scottish Government has introduced legislation banning such cladding on new buildings.
We want a complete ban on the most combustible materials, and I think it's in line with the other work that we've taken forward. This is actually the third set of changes that we've brought in since Grenfell. Not just looking at cladding, because obviously the fire safety issues affect things like escape routes, alarm and sprinkler systems as well. This continues that progressive incremental change, and we hope it's going to give people a lot of confidence that buildings that are constructed from now on will be as safe as they possibly can be.
Since 2005, cladding on high-rise blocks in Scotland has had to either feature non-combustible material or pass a large-scale fire test. The legislation before Holyrood removes the fire test option for any building with a floor that's more than 36 feet above the ground. The Fire Brigades Union say while it's good news, it doesn't do anything for people living in homes which already have the material.
It's vital that there's legislation put in place to remove that cladding. The Westminster Government seems to have taken an England-only approach to begin to remedy this. The Scottish Government have initiated a study into the 700 potentially affected properties, but we're awaiting the results of the initial 25 case studies that have been conducted. Would like to see that the costs of these remedy measures are borne by industry and not by the individuals that are living in those properties or by the taxpayer.
Abhijit Kadwe is one of hundreds of homeowners whose building has combustible cladding. The father of two has been so worried about his family's safety, he's now moved them all out of the property.
I would give anything to come back to the property. It's just, I think the Scottish Government needs to do more. They have already taken the first few steps, but I would say baby steps. But I think it's time that they get their act together and start getting things moved forward as soon as possible.
The Scottish Government says this legislation will help in further minimising the risk of deaths and injuries from fire. But those living in existing buildings with the cladding say urgent action is still needed to stop them feeling trapped, fearful and facing financial uncertainty. The cladding changes in Scotland will be introduced at the beginning of June. Louise Hosey, STV News.